please stand and join us in our opening song? Standing outside the door of love and mercy, you wonder if there's a place set for you. You know there's peace inside, but still you're searching for someone who understands the pain you've been through. When Spirit waits with open arms, it's calling out your name. Come on in, welcome home. You are loved, you belong here now. No matter where you've been, come on in. Come on in. You'll find a place of rest in the arms of Spirit. It's waited so long for your homecoming day. It knows the peace you need and hurt you're feeling. It wants to hold you and to wipe your tears away. When the doors unlocked, the lights are on. What are you waiting for? Come on in, welcome home. You are loved, you belong here now. No matter where you've been, come on in. Where there's room enough in the home of love for someone just like you. Come on in, welcome home. You are loved, you belong here now. No matter where you've been, come on in, welcome home. You are loved, you belong here now. No matter where you've been, come on in. Come on in, welcome home. You are loved, you belong here now. No matter where you've been, come on in. Come on in. Come on in. Come on in. Come on in.
Welcome to Unity of Wilmington. Those of you that are here in the sanctuary in person, and those of you that are joining us online today, we're very happy to have you with us. Is there anyone here for the first time today? Not yet? Oh, we do have a new person. Welcome. Welcome. Oh, very good. Great to have you with us today. I'm Gail O'Brien, one of your board members, and I'm glad to be here too. I'm just back from the Unity Retreat, Unity Ministries of the Mid-Atlantic States, which was this past week, and it was very inspiring, so I'm really happy. We'd like to welcome our team that's here today, Katie Deese, our music director, Bianca Shaw, who's going to be our soloist. She'll be singing for us in a few minutes. Our musicians up here, and Chris in the back. And our lesson today, our speaker is Ellen Contenti. She is one of our regulars, and we're very happy to have her back. So she's going to talk about And So It Is. So we're very happy to have you. With that said, come on up, Bianca, and sing to us. Oh, I forgot to say our opening. See, I'm trying not to look at that thing, but apparently I needed to. Let's say our statements of being. There is only one presence and one power active in the universe and in our life. God the good, omnipotent. I am from the powerful expression of God. I am here for a holy purpose. I am in the right place at the right time, right now. And now, Bianca.
Thank you. like a small boat on the ocean, sending big waves into motion, like how a single word can make a heart open. I might only have one match, but I can make an explosion. And all the things I didn't say, wrecking balls inside my brain, I will scream them loud tonight. Can you hear my voice this time? This is my fight song. Take back my life song. Prove I'm alright song. My power's turned on. Starting right now, I'll be strong. I'll play my fight song. And I don't really care if nobody else believes, 'cause I've still got a lot of fight left in me. Losing friends, I'm chasing sleep. Everybody's worried about me. In too deep, said I'm in too deep. And it's been 2 years, I miss my home, but there's a fire burning in my bones. I still believe, yeah, I still believe. And all those things I didn't say, wrecking balls inside my brain, I will scream them loud tonight. Can you hear my voice this time? This is my fight song. Take back my life song. Prove I'm alright song. My power's turned on. Starting right now, I'll be strong. I'll play my fight song. And I don't really care if nobody else believes, 'cause I've still got a lot of fight left in me. A lot of fight left in me. Like a small boat on the ocean, sending big waves into motion, like how a single word can make a heart open. I might only have one match, but I can make an explosion. This is my fight song. Take back my life song. Prove I'm alright song. My power's turned on. Starting right now, I'll be strong. I'll play my fight song. And I don't really care if nobody else believes, 'cause I've still got a lot of fight left in me. No, I have still got a lot of fight left in me.
Oh my God. I always find it such a tough act to follow when you come up after an amazing performer. Let's give Bianca another round of applause. Welcome, everyone. Welcome online to today, the very first Fall Sunday, right? It's the first official Sunday of the fall season. And so it is, right? The weather should be getting cooler now, right? Although I think today is going to be another hot, let's go to the beach day. So even though it is officially fall, it is absolutely still beautiful outside. And that's one thing I do love about where we live, is that we can go outside all the time. Well, pretty much all the time, right? Anyway, today I have a lot of different things I want to talk about. I feel like I went to the buffet this morning when I was sitting down and looking at, well, what do I really want to talk about today? There's so many things to talk about. And I think I'm kind of like pulling the curtain, you know, like behind the curtain. Just so you know, we're supposed to give the name of our talks like weeks in advance. So we have this great idea that pops into our head, and then we're like, oh, well, what is that going to be about? Because I have to still get up on a Sunday and talk. So it is going to be a lot of different things. But one of the most important things that I did want to talk about today, which has nothing to do with unity in all honesty, but it does, because unity is a New Thought philosophy, and it is based on the 5 world religions. And one of those world religions is Judaism. So how many of you were raised Jewish by just curiosity? Anybody here? So maybe I'm the only one. But I'm sure there's some folks that are watching us online that were raised Jewish. And tonight is Erev Rosh Hashanah. And basically, Rosh Hashanah is the beginning of the Jewish New Year. And for me, fall is always like the beginning of the year because it's back to school and it's like back to figuring out what it is that we want to do. It's a new year, because the kids are going back to school, and I've always kind of been in that mindset of, the weather gets cooler, and it's back to school, and I'm like, okay, it's back to hitting my goals, it's back to focusing on, what it is that I want to do, how I can make a bigger impact in the world, and so forth. So for, if whether you were raised Jewish, and none of you were, but maybe you grew up with somebody who was, tonight is a very, very, very important holiday. It's the beginning of 10 days of really standing before God and reflecting on the past year of your life. Reflecting, and the book of life is open. And that's how I feel like when the weather cools off and you go back to school, like the book of life is reopening. And we get to stand before God and really stand in front of the mirror and reflect on, how did I do this past year? Right? Did I do the things that I said I was going to do? Did I make some mistakes? Did anybody make any mistakes this past year? Oh, come on, you can put 2 hands up. Lots and lots of mistakes. Right? And a mistake is just missing the mark. It's just missing the mark. So what do I want to do differently this year? What do I want to reach? What goals? How do I want to be a better version of myself? And, we spend the next 10 days, I don't really follow this anymore. I think I do internally, but you spend the next 10 days really just reflecting and deciding, right, what do I want to be? Who do I want to be? That fight song, this is my life song. Because in 10 days from now, on Yom Kippur, it's all about writing your name or not in the book of life. And as a child, I took that literally. Like, oh my God, if I wasn't a good girl that past year, God was not going to write my name, inscribe my name in the book of life. And I really thought that something terrible was going to happen to me, and I wouldn't make it to the next birthday. And I carried this with me for a long, long, long time. So much so that I will never forget, there was a Halloween party, because this is all coming back to me. This is like literally coming back to me as I'm speaking to all of you. We had a Halloween party when I was in my mid-20s, when I was living in Boston, and we invited they look into the magic ball, and what are they called? Like a fortune teller. Fortune teller to come to be at the party. And she was reading people's palms. And I remember going upstairs. It was in one of the spare bedrooms, and we were all going up there. And she looked at my hand, and she looked at my palm, and she was like, oh. Like, what? What do you see? Is that a good O? Or, well, she says, you're not going to make it to your 50th birthday. Now, I know I look really young, but I'm 64. But for years, as I approached my 50th birthday, I was waiting for that other shoe to drop. I was literally waiting for something terrible to happen to me, because I really believed that I had done something and I wasn't going to be written into the book of life. And so it was probably somewhere around that time in my life that I said, you know what? This is not serving me. This really is not serving me, and I wanted to find something else to believe in. I wanted to find a different spiritual path, and it was around that time that I was actually introduced to New Thought, Science of Mind, and what I didn't know at the time was my very first New Thought was a Unity Church in Bradenton, Florida. because I had recently moved after that to Bradenton. And so that began my path of finding a different way of living. And I love this principle. I love the truth that we talk here. Right? There is only one power, one presence, and that is God. And you know what? That is me. And so I have the power to change my stars. I have the power to change my destiny. I have the power to live the life that I want. There's nobody out there, up there, or down there that is going to tell me whether or not I'm going to be written in the book of life. This is my life, right? This is I won't even say the fight that we're in. This is the joy that we're in. Right? We don't want to fight. We want to express. So there was a number of quotes that I found. This one I love because it did remind me of this time of the year and this holiday, which is living in the place you belong with the people you love, doing the right work on purpose. Because that is really the life that we do want to live, right? We do want to live in the right place, right? This place, unity, is where we do belong. Living a life that we love with the people that we love. I want you to look around. Look at your neighbor. That's your family. Yeah, doesn't matter what side of the political front you fall on or what religion you may have been brought up in, but we are all family. This is the family, the house, the home that, we want to live in and do the right work in. Right here, right now, and that's what we're doing. We're building a beautiful home. And I had to give an homage to fall because it's my favorite time of the year, and I love this quote. Autumn is a second spring when every leaf is a flower. Right? And we are all blooming in our own way. And I think it's like the perfect time of the year as well when you think about, right, the leaves are changing color, and they're coming into their beautiful, bright brilliance of deep hues, of reds and maroons, and what other colors are up there? Yellows and all different beautiful, amazing colors. And I think that's what each and every one of us is called to do here, is to step into, changing and deepening our hue and our color and growing this beautiful center that we call home. And, the fall, again, new beginnings, shedding the old, because the leaves do leave, right? They fall off the trees. So what do we want to let go of? What do we want to let fall, literally fall, so that we can allow what needs to be birthed to come forward? So think about like this whole philosophy that we live and breathe in, which is everything that we see out there starts first in here. Right? I know we talk about thoughts, right, being the creative, everything we think, we create, and I do believe that, but I also believe that it starts here in our hearts. And so what is it that we want? What would we love? Remember last Sunday? Who was here last Sunday? Yeah, a lot of fun. I know people online were watching as well. And Eliza talked about, what would you love? What would you love? And that's what we're creating, is this life, this dream that begins here, and it begins here, and then we manifest it out there, right? In more people coming to our center, to more people watching online, to children filling up our center, right? To changing what is to what we want it to be. So interestingly enough, probably never thought you would see a Shakespeare quote, but when we talk about, right, creating our ideal, and it doesn't manifest, why is that? So Shakespeare actually said, the fault, dear Brutus, is not in our stars, but in ourselves, that we are underlings. The fault isn't out there. It's not those conditions that we think. It's not that I don't have enough money in my bank account. Right? It's not that that person who I adore doesn't feel the same way towards me. It's not that I can't find the right job. It's not that there's not enough people in the seats. It's that we haven't gotten really clear in the vision yet. And that's what we're working on, is creating that vision. And while, we do look to the stars, I do believe we should shoot for the stars and beyond. We do have to be clear about what we believe is possible. What we believe is possible. So how many of you do believe that it is possible? Yes. Absolutely. I didn't even finish asking my question. Whatever she says, yes. It is possible. It is possible. Right? So if it's possible, then why don't we have everything that we want? Why? That's the question I ask myself all the time. Right? I've studied this, I live this, and yet, do I have the perfect life? Well, the answer is no, because there's no such thing as perfect. There's what is it that you want? And if you haven't reached it yet, why is that? Now, Eliza also talked last week about the fact that we are constantly wanting more, to have more, to be more, to do more. So the truth is we never do reach that final perfect destination, because once we get there, there's more. Right? I'm here in Wilmington for a year, and it took me a long time to find Wilmington as my home, to find the perfect location with the perfect weather, and the perfect location between family and friends, and the perfect house, and the perfect all of that. Right? And I'm here, and I love it. It's not perfect. There's still more. Right? There's still more. And I know we all feel that way. So, we're studying in Prosperity Plus 3, which Eliza's also teaching, and I'm co-hosting with her. So we're going through this amazing book. I don't know if, I'm assuming it's in the bookstore. If not, we definitely need to have it in the bookstore, called Working with the Law. And I read this book, 15 years ago maybe, and I pulled it off my bookshelf, and I thought, oh my gosh, I think I forgot everything that was in there. So I'm really glad that we're rereading it. So one of the things that Raymond talks about, all failures in life are due to taking sides, where am I? With the finite around us. So that means that I am living my life based on what I see. So I'm going to just speak for myself, because I spend too much time seeing what isn't in the checking account. Right? Seeing what isn't in my backyard, or seeing what isn't anywhere else. Right? There isn't peace. I hate to turn the news on, and yet I have to turn the news on. I want to know what's going on out in the world. And I'm looking at what is versus what I want it to be. And when we just look at what is there and not what's possible, we're living with the finite. The reality is that we are unlimited. We can do so much more than we give ourselves credit for. And I remind myself of this in my running training program, where I get on the treadmill and I'm like, okay, I have to do an hour today, and I have to run 5 minutes in building intensity, and then rest 1 minute, and then continue that till the 60 minutes. And I'm like, by the time I get to 45, I'm like, oh my God, there's no way I'm going to be able to do this. And yet I think, of course you can, Ellen. That's just your mind telling you that there's not enough reserves, that you have a finite amount of reserves. And that's not true. That's not true. I mean, eventually, yes, do we have to eat, right? Do we have to drink some water? Yes. Do we have to get some sleep? Yes. But our energy is renewable and rechargeable. But our minds tell us that we can only do so much, and then we can't go any further. And it stops us from living our dreams. I mean, I am going to get that half marathon. If it kills me, that might kill me, but I will be renewed, and I will be refreshed, right? So the question here, the lesson really is, are we saying that's just the way it is? Or how many of you ever said, it is what it is? It is what it is. And we say that when things are not what we want them to be. It is what it is. And I see you're nodding. You're like, yep. And I hear myself saying that. I'm like, wait a second, who determined it is what it is? Right? Or that's just the way it is. That's when I watch the news and I see what's going on out in the world, and we're like, well, that's just the way it is. I'm like, wait a second, no, that doesn't have to be that way. It isn't just the way it is. It can be what we want it to be. It can absolutely be what we want it to be. So, you know, in my life, just like everyone else, there have been things that I've been told I can't do. Now, my trainer said, yes, Ellen, you can run a half marathon. She did tell me that. But before I bought my house, I remember sitting with a realtor or a finance person, whoever does mortgages, forgot their names, but they looked at my bank account, they looked at my debts, they looked at the fact that I was self-employed, and they said, you're never going to be able to buy a home. Basically told me, you're never going to be able to buy a home. They said, you know what, you got to go home, you got to earn like 3 times the amount of money that you're earning now, you got to get out of debt, and you got to save a lot of money, and then maybe you can buy a home. Now, I was living in Los Angeles at the time, so I don't know if anybody's ever lived in LA. Yeah, I see some hands. Right. I mean, there are people that own homes in LA, so it is doable, but I was stuck in the finite. I was stuck in the limitation. Instead of, what's the song lyric again? Fighting for your life? Say it again. Sing it. Yeah. There's a fight song something, right? Putting you on the spot, Bianca, right? But that's what it becomes. It's like, wait a second, am I going to let somebody else dictate to me what my life is going to be? How many of you are letting, and I'm not putting anything down about the health profession or doctors or anything, but are they telling you what your life is going to be? Your health? Right? Who are you needing to listen to? Right? You have to listen to that truth within you that says, I am unlimited, I am perfect, whole, and complete. Right? Our doctors are also spiritual, and they are listening to the information that they receive, but we all have limited views. And again, doctors are amazing. They have cured my husband of cancer. They have cured a lot of people, and they're an amazing profession. But it's interesting when we allow others to dictate 100% of what we want for our lives. So we just have to take in all the information. So whether it's your finances, somebody telling you that, oh, well, sorry, you can't buy a house, or a doctor's telling you, oh, you may never walk again, or you're never going to get better, right? Or a relationship falls apart and you feel like, oh my God, I'm never going to fall in love again, right? Who are you listening to? Who are you believing? You have to believe in your dream, what it is that you want. So, Raymond goes on to say that all success in life is due to taking sides within the law that is within us, right? That is within us. So if we've been living a life that says, I only believe what I see, versus I will see what I believe, right? I will see what I believe, because believing is seeing. So take a moment, close your eyes, and whatever it is that you want to believe for your life, whether it's health, whether it's wealth, whether it's finances, whether it's these seats being filled, I want you to see that in your mind clearly, right? Vibrant health, dollar signs everywhere, that loving relationship, these seats filled. I want you to just see it, believe it, feel it. All right, now open your eyes. And I want everybody just to shout, yes! 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 Because that's how it feels when we see a different truth. When we believe the vision of what we see. Then we create from that. You know, in the morning when I get up, my practice is no longer turning on the news and being deflated by seeing the finite. Instead, I start my day doing meditation. because that's also how we connect to spirit, prayer and meditation. So I want to connect to that infinite power within me that says yes to what I put into mind. Because whether I put in negative thoughts or I put in abundant thoughts, the law does not discriminate. The spiritual law does not discriminate. It says yes to whatever we put into it. And so when you find yourself ruminating about, all those mistakes that you made, when you find yourself worrying about the future, if you don't catch those and flip them over, then the law is just going to say, okay, well, I will send people, circumstances, and situations to match that vibration. So as a matter of fact, let me just pull this right out of the book because I saved this because it was so important to share. And I need my glasses. Can't see anything without these anymore. So, he said, prosperity and poverty are not two things. They are merely two sides of one and the same thing. One and the same thing. There's one power, rightly or wrongly used. You cannot think of plenty and then worry about unfavorable conditions. And how many of you are willing to admit that, you do think about plenty, you do think about abundance. And as soon as you finish that meditation, as soon as you start thinking that, you go right back to, oh, but there's only so much in the account. But we only have a limited amount of resources. But I'm 64 years old. How am I going to start a new career? But whatever that is. Anyone? Yeah, I know. Well, remember, we're tying this back to, the next 10 days is all about reflection and starting anew, right? And wanting our lives to be what we dream them to be. Because we can absolutely keep that coin flipped over, because I call it mental coinage. That coin that's in our head has two sides. There's the abundant side or there's the limited side. There's the healthy side or there's the, I can't run today. There's the, what, he loves me, he doesn't love me side. We all have that fighting within us all the time. Some of us have learned how to overcome that and keep that coin always on the prosperous side. But if you're struggling, remember, it's just one and the same thing. It's just how am I looking at things? So the question to ask yourself is, am I living my life with, that's just the way it is, or, right, it is what it is, or, and so it is. And so it is our declaration of what we want. That's what prayer is all about. We are claiming right here and right now what it is that we want. Not what we wish for the future. Now, right here, right now, and so it is. No ifs, ands, or buts. And so it is. So what are we going to declare for ourselves? Right? A new dress? Right? A bigger spiritual center? Health, wealth, relationships, love, peace. There's so many things that we want to change. There's so much that we want to declare. But it's up to the individual. An individual person needs to make that declaration. We can know truth for you, and that's what we do when we pray. We do know truth for whatever it is that you need support with. But it starts first here, right? What is the vision you want to hold in your mind? What is the vision that you're holding in your heart? What is it that you want in your life? Because you can have it. You absolutely can have it. You have to believe that first and foremost, because the mind will want to play tricks on you. How many of you have ever sat like at the beach or at a marina, not a marina, but it has to be at the beach, and you've watched those ships out in the distance, right? They're on the horizon, and it looks like they just disappear. It looks like they literally just fall off the end of the earth. Has anybody ever jumped up and said, oh no, where'd it go? No, it's an illusion. It's an illusion. So maybe when you look at your bank account or you wake up and you're not feeling that great, what if we were to believe that's an illusion? I went through my own crisis this last month by looking at my calendar, and it was fairly empty. And I have my own business. I do corporate trainings and coaching, and I didn't have a lot of appointments on my calendar. And I was like that ship disappearing off the horizon, and I thought, how am I going to pay the mortgage? This new house that I just bought, how am I going to pay the mortgage if the ship disappears off the horizon? And in that moment, I remembered who I am. I am a divine, unlimited, creative, spiritual goddess who could declare whatever it is that she wants. And that's what we're working on at Prosperity Plus. What is it that you want? Claim it, declare it. Move into that vision as if it's already here right now, and the world will open up. And I have to say, no sooner did I go through that myself that, the phone starts ringing, the emails start coming in, the clients start showing up. It's just you have to believe. The truth is, what are you going to believe, right? Well, that's just the way it is. It's, that's time. It's that time of the year, and so it is, and so it is. So, oh God, I'm going to have to read this here so I don't turn around for the whole one. This is also from the book. You who are seeking love, fortune, happiness, and success must understand that it's not something you may find. You cannot buy it, nor borrow it from another. No one can give it to you. You must create it yourself. You must create it yourself. And I think that's the beauty. We don't need to wait for someone else to create it. We don't need to put our destiny in someone else or something else. We get to create it ourselves. We get to decide what it is that we want. And we get to go about and do that. So who's with me? Yeah. And so it is. Good, say that with me. And so it is. So I wanted to finish with one last little quote lyric, because today is also One Hit Wonder Day. How many of you know about One Hit Wonders? Yeah, those amazing, great songs that were hits, but then, like that ship, the artist just kind of disappeared on the horizon. But that doesn't mean the song wasn't awesome and wasn't great. So I want you to sing this with me if you remember this song. We're just going to do one little lyric. So, I had a dream so big and loud, I jumped so high, I hit the clouds. Whoa, whoa. This is gonna be the best day of my life. Whoa, oh, 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 oh. All right. Let's let this be the best day of our lives. And let's let tomorrow be the best day of our lives. We can be one-hit wonders every single day. So let's know that. Let's bring that truth into our meditation. It's not going to be so meditative, but I want everybody to close your eyes. And we're going to know this beautiful truth that today is the best day of our lives. That this is our fight song. This is our take back our life song. Because this is our life. And I know that each and every person across the globe no matter what your circumstances are. I know that each and every one of us wants the life of our dreams, wants today to be the best day of our lives, for ourselves, for our loved ones, and for our planet. And so whatever it is that you're holding in your hearts, allow that to just be nurtured and grow and believe in that vision. Don't be concerned about what you don't see. And don't be concerned about what you might see if it doesn't match your vision. Just hold that truth in your heart. Hold that in your mind. And believe. And believe that you are perfect, whole, and complete. That you are prosperous. That you are joyful. That you are loved. That you are loving. That you are exactly at the right place at the right time, doing the right thing, in the right home with the right people. Always. Always. Today is the best day of your life. Tomorrow is the best day of your life. Yesterday was the best day of your life. Every day that we are breathing, every day that we are aware of who we are, this divine spiritual being connected to that one source that always says yes to whatever we want, it is the best day of our lives. And so as we move forward into our day, remember, believing is seeing. So hold that vision and never let it go. And it is with gratitude and thanksgiving that we declare into the law that always says yes, and so it is. Amen. I want everybody to come out of that with a declaration loudly and clearly, and so it is. Thank you.
Thank you, Ellen. It was wonderful. And now it is time for us to give back to our spiritual community, Unity of Wilmington. There are several ways that you can give. We have some ushers that will be coming forward to collect your gifts here. You can give online through our website and through Venmo. So let us just say our mantra together. Divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, and all that I receive, and so it is. Bianca?
I used to think maybe you love me, now baby I'm sure. And I just can't wait till the day when you knock on my door. Now every time I go for the mailbox, gotta hold myself down. 'Cause I just can't wait
Thank you, Bianca. We really appreciate that. So let us just say a blessing for our offering. We do bless the gifts and the givers and all of you for helping continuing to our community, our spiritual community here at Unity of Wilmington to continue to grow and thrive. Thank you all. Amen. Okay, we have a few announcements. First of all, where is Trish? There she is. I'm going to ask Trish to come up and talk to us a little bit about our upcoming workshop. Yep.
Thanks. Hi, everyone. So we're just here to tell you a tiny bit more. We did some of this last week, but we want to tell you a tiny bit more about our roadmap forward and where we're going. And we've decided that we're going to start our search for a minister in January. And we have just a little bit more work to do until, to have everything in order to do that. So next weekend, we have a 3-hour Zoom call, and we would love for you to join us. It's called Building the Bridge. We still have to do a few things like identify the qualities we want in our minister, and let's see what else. We wanted to, actually the 3 topics last week that Eliza put on the flip chart, if you were here, we need more help with how do we market things going forward, and how do we communicate better among ourselves and with the community around us, and financially, how are we going to build our prosperity so that we have everything that we need in order at the right time when we need it. So those are the things that we still need to work on, and we really, really need your help. There's a couple of flip charts in the back. You don't even have to leave your home. It's just 3 hours next week. That's one of the 2 times that we're going to come together. The next time is Saturday, December 4th. So if you could please just maybe save the date on your calendar right now, and we'll get signups out in plenty of time. But this time, this weekend coming, and that other date are the 2 last opportunities for us to come together and sort out the last few pieces of our roadmap before we begin the journey. Okay? So I just wanted to invite you to join us, please, if you can. Is that it? Yes, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. We also have, you've been watching some of our announcements scrolling by on the screen. We want to remind you about our craft fair, which is coming up in October. That's October the 15th. They're doing raffle tickets, I believe, today out in the foyer, so you can get in on that, and that is going to be on Saturday, October the 15th, so be sure and get your tickets on that. I also want to remind you that we really could use your assistance. We need more volunteers. We need more hospitality help on Sunday mornings so we can continue to enjoy that after services on Sundays. Our welcome team could use more. Special events, we've got some special events that'll be coming up, so we always need help with that and outreach to the community. And also our prayer partners. Currently, our prayer partners are Teresa Rodriguez, who's heading up the prayer team, and Ellen Contente. And Ellen's our prayer partner today. And one of our prayer partners, Chris Mullen, has been in the hospital for a week. He has a respiratory infection, and so he's been getting treatment. So I'm going to ask Ellen to come up with me, if you would, Ellen. We just want to say a special prayer for Chris going forward.
Okay. All right. I'm giving that to you. Well, I can use this mic,
Yeah,
right?
okay.
Yeah. So here's what I'd like to do, is because prayer is such an integral part of what we teach here and who we are. You can hold Chris in your heart. You can hold yourself. If there's anybody else that you want to hold in prayer that is needing healing, the planet, it doesn't really matter, right? If we're all connected. So let's know that there is only one power, one presence We call it God, we call it spirit, we call it universe, we call it law. It is always operating, and it is operating for our highest and our best. And I know that we are all interconnected in this loving, healing energy. And so I am holding Chris in that loving, healing energy, knowing that he is being treated, knowing that he is, in this moment, perfect, whole, and complete. And I know that each and every person that is in need of health and healing is divinely guided and surrounded by that loving light, by that healing energy, and that we are all holding each other in that space of perfect, whole, and complete. And so it is with gratitude and thanksgiving that I know this truth, that we know this truth for each other. And we release this, knowing this truth, this health, into the law that has said yes. And together we say, and so it is. Amen.
Thank you, Ellen. Okay, so check out the other announcements. The volunteer sign-up sheet is in the back. You can sign up today. And so now we'd like to just do our prayer for protection. If everyone will stand, and then we'll do our closing song. Light of God surrounds us. The love of God, the light of God. Love of God enfolds us. I am the love of God. The power of God watches us. I am the power of God. The presence of God watches over us. I am the presence of God. Wherever we are, God is, and so it will.